Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the BBJ's second annual Family-Owned Business Celebration. I'm Rhonda Pringle, Market President and Publisher of the Baltimore Business Journal. We're grateful that you're able to join us this afternoon and help us recognize these accomplished family-owned businesses as they receive a well-deserved moment in the spotlight. The 15 companies we're honoring today have a cumulative business lifetime of 1,411 years. Collectively, they have withstood a depression, wars, Baltimore's Great Fire, and countless other challenges. They have proven to be as resilient as the families that run them. It's never been more clear that during this trying time, the role of family businesses have in contributing to our health and our local economy and to our city's culture is critical. Please feel free to send shout outs via our question panel in order to show your support to our honorees. And don't forget to use the hashtag BaltBizEvents on any social media post congratulating your favorite family-owned business awardees. You will see on the control panel the handout section where you can download our event package, which contains more information about our presenting sponsor, Howard Bank, Jim Perdue, our honorees, and the companies that made our list of oldest family-owned businesses. The presenting sponsor of today's event is no stranger to partnering with local family-owned businesses. They themselves are a local financial entity and make themselves available to help businesses continue to build their legacies here in the Baltimore community. Here to share Howard Bank's philosophy on keeping it local and supporting small and family-owned businesses is Howard Bank Chairman and CEO, Mary Ann Scully.
We all want to leave our mark on the world, whether it's passing down wisdom or laying the foundation for something new. Legacy is what we do every day. It's how we honor the past. It's how we live in the present. And it's how we prepare our children for the future. At Howard Bank, our legacy is a reflection of the customers we serve. What do you want your legacy to be?
So this is Mary Ann Scully, CEO of Howard Bank, and I'm welcoming everybody to this first virtual, but always annual Baltimore Business Journal Family-Owned Business event. We are especially privileged to be able to sponsor the event this year because Howard Bank is a company that was not only focused on, but created to serve the needs of small and medium-sized businesses in a very, very special place near and dear to our hearts, the greater Baltimore community. We're living through times of unprecedented change. And while many of us feel like for the last 2 decades, we've been living in a time of great volatility, uncertainty, complexity, I think that what's happened in the last 5 months has rocked all of our worlds. And anyone reading any publication, looking at any news publication, reading anything on the internet will know that the focus of most of the leaders in our country has been on our small and medium-sized businesses and their employees as not only the foundation of this country, but as the future of this country. And so at this unprecedented time for us, created to serve this community, and just as focused as ever on this community, we want to acknowledge the huge contribution that family-owned businesses make to this country and have always made to this country. If one thinks about not only their commitment, but the continuity of that commitment, I think that in our hearts we know that this group of businesses will once again rise to the occasion. Resilience is an adjective that describes everything that these family-owned businesses are about. And resilience is the one characteristic that will undoubtedly get us through this time of change. this threat to our healthcare systems, this threat to our economy, but one that with resilience and commitment and consistency exhibited by family-owned businesses will allow this country to thrive. So I can't think of a more precious time to be able to restate our commitment. And I would call out to everybody the need to continue to stay involved with one another. The role of advisors and advisees is always important, but at no time other than in times of unprecedented change, more important than it is right now. Please keep looking for information on a series and a seminar series that we will offer to family-owned businesses going forward to do our small part to try to ensure that that continuity of advisors and advisees, those precious relationships, to help make sure that all of our family-owned businesses have the resources that they need to plow forward. Just look for that, and we will continue to do our part to serve as a privileged advisor to this community. So thank you, and we'll kick off the event. So speaking of companies that have demonstrated remarkable resilience in times of change, it's now time for us to hear from one of the most remarkable stories in Maryland history. And that is a company that is celebrating its 100th anniversary and has managed to move forward from a agriculturally based company to one that connects with consumers every single day. So we're talking about Perdue, and we're talking about Jim Perdue. And now it's time for us to turn this over to Joanna Sullivan, who's going to ask Jim a few questions. Again, a remarkable demonstration of resilience through a century in different periods of change. And now let's turn it over to Joanna.
Good morning. This is Joanna Sullivan. I'm editor-in-chief of the Baltimore Business Journal. Today, we're celebrating family-owned businesses in Greater Baltimore. And we have with us one of the great family businesses in Maryland. We have Jim Perdue, chairman of Perdue Farms in Salisbury. We're thrilled to have him today. We picked him to be our representative of our Family-Owned Business Awards because all the great things his company has done over the years in Maryland. And we're thrilled that we're able to have him today on webinar. We originally were supposed to have our event in March, but as you all know, things kind of changed in March with the coronavirus, and we have changed the date of this event. We changed it several times in person, and finally, we decided we're going to do it virtual, and Jim has been really gracious in working with us on that. So today I'm thrilled to talk to him about himself, his company, how they're managing through this crisis, you know, what the company is doing to keep going all these years. It was started by his grandfather in 1920. They're celebrating 100 years this year. So looking forward to talking to him about that. And also hoping to learn a little bit about what makes a family-owned business thrive and survive through many changes over the decades, through wars, recessions, and now a pandemic. Jim, thanks so much for joining us. You showed us your great mask earlier. You're gonna have to show the audience that sometime that your wife made. Wonderful. This year, the company celebrated 100 years in business. How has the pandemic interrupted some of your plans?
Well, it's great to be here, Joanna, and it certainly has been a huge change for everybody, including our company. You know, and the disappointing thing is that I think that we had a group of folks who had been working for a couple of years on the celebration year, and unfortunately we had to not do a lot of the things we had planned to do, but we still did a lot of things. Like, for example, we donated $1 million to 10 food banks across America as part of the celebration, and that was out of the Perdue Foundation. But the pandemic, you know, really it was a challenge. There's no guidelines, there's no textbook on how to deal with this. So every single day we were learning something new, and And the challenge, of course, was keeping your associates safe, but at the same time trying to provide food, for the country. At some point, the federal government made our business essential because of the being in the food business. But at the end of March, we had instituted temperature testing, for example, in our plants, putting in plexiglass separators. We have wellness centers in all of our facilities. We did that back starting in 2001. So we have these facilities that are staffed by nurses and or doctors. So they've become very, very helpful in this process, because if somebody either there's a suspect because of their temperature or because of what they tell us that there's an issue, they would go to the wellness center and we would make determinations at that point on how to deal with them. And so, and I could just tell you a myriad of things that we learned as we went through this process. For example, this contact tracing is something we eventually did in a lot of our operations, and it turned out to be very effective. We would take entire groups of people and ask them not to come to work, and we would pay them. Once we found out that in that community there was a high level of the virus. We also did things like increase their pay during this period of time, made their personal time off much more liberal so that they could, if they had a fear of being here in the operation, they could not be there and use their personal time for that. We also, they told us that food was a big issue, shopping for food. So we provided a lot of free chicken at all of our facilities for their folks so that they wouldn't have to go from work to the grocery store and then try to provide for their family. So I think all in all, it's and one other thing, we brought on our company doctor who had put in all these wellness centers, and he had retired. We brought him back. That was very important because we were dealing with the CDC, which was actually a very good relationship. Their guidelines were things that we followed, but then you had each state, and we're in multiple states, 14, 15 states, and each state had their own health requirements that may have been in conflict with what the CDC was doing. So trying to navigate those protocols from different state agencies was something that he was a huge help in doing. And eventually, we did testing in a number of our plants, 100% testing. And so we, like the rest of the country, kind of went through certain areas, had waves, and then it bottomed out. And right now things are in very, very good shape in our operations, which luckily a lot of them are very rural areas. So they're not in New York City or, Atlanta per se, where you have an issue. And so that's helped, I think, also.
What has it been like leading your company during this time, you and your senior management team?
Well, we're very hands-on. We had daily meetings and in different areas. The live production side. You remember, this is a very long supply chain. Starts with corn and soybeans in a tank that's fed to chickens at a farm, and that process, is a number of weeks, and then they're brought to the operation. So the live side had their meetings that they were doing a number of things, and then the operations, of course, were meeting daily and going through issues. Customers, were certainly very interested in are you going to supply me or not supply me? And through those meetings, we made decisions like simplifying the mix. If you don't have the number of people in your operation, you can't make the detailed products that a lot of people are looking for, like a boneless chicken breast. So a lot of people had to adapt to buying a whole chicken. And back to the old days, and actually we have on our website how you can cut up a chicken and recipes and that sort of thing. So people, we tried to provide as much product as we could, as detailed as we could, given the issue with absenteeism, which turned out to be a pretty significant issue. The good thing is we never got to the point where we had to depopulate chickens in the field. A lot of companies did, where they couldn't bring them to the operation. We were able to continue to grow and operate our operations through the pandemic.
So I have to tell you, I love whole chickens. I roasted a Perdue chicken a couple weeks ago. It was fabulous.
Well, good.
But, so the demand for chicken, we talk about that, has been great as more people cook from home. Like, how did you meet that challenge? I know people were, dying for chicken, and we're all cooking. What has that been like?
During the pandemic, you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we couldn't fill orders. I think orders at one point in April were, 50% above, what we were forecasting or what we were able to produce. So part of it was trying to allocate to different supermarkets, product, and simplifying, as I said, product, and so that at least they had something to sell. And we also, food service is about 50% of the chicken eaten in America. So restaurants, quick serve, fast food. That's about 25% of our business. So 75% of our business is either supermarkets and some international. But we did convert a lot of these food service operations to produce retail products because the restaurant industry basically shut down, and so suddenly there was no orders coming from that part of the business. But so we also converted a lot of these operations to making products for the supermarket. And the other thing, of course, is we had just, this is fortuitous, but we just started our PerdueFarms.com business in January, direct to consumer, direct to your door products. Not only chicken, but we also produce pork, beef, lamb now through an acquisition of Coleman pork and Nyman Ranch beef and pork and lamb. And so we were providing all these products online, and it went from a few hundred orders a day to 2,000. So it just skyrocketed during that time, which we of course couldn't fill all the orders, but it helped in that process of getting products to consumers.
So you're celebrating 100 years. Congratulations. What is the key to staying in business that long? You're third generation. What's next for the company?
Yeah, it seems like it's gone by very quickly, but yeah, my grandfather started in 1920, and he wrote a book called A Solid Foundation, and I think that was a book just for family. He didn't publish it, but it really talks about the importance of people, and I think the strength of Perdue all these years has been the strength of the great people we have in the business, from the people who are on the line, producing the quality products and working safely, to the management of the company, our truck drivers, you name it. We spend a lot of time. In fact, people is our number one goal in the company. And so, and we talk about people, products, planet, and profitability, and people comes first in that scenario. So, and having a strong culture, and I think companies have a culture that it's not a good or bad. It's just sort of the personality of the company. And we've tried to run the company like a family business. When I grew up, my three sisters and I lived 50 yards from the office, and so everything evolved around the business. And so, there'd be softball games at lunch when we had 100 people working in the company. I remember when I was a kid. So we tried to, we have 21,000 people now. It's much more difficult to stay close to people, but we try to do a lot of things that emulate that family feel. Yesterday, I was up in Georgetown, Delaware at we give out a quality service reliability award based on my dad, who passed away, of course, in 2005. But and it honors literally 4 people out of those 21,000 people. And it's very, the lady who won this award up in Georgetown, Delaware, has been with us 41 years. So it's amazing, the quality and the commitment of these folks, that work for us. And things like state of the business meetings, we go every year to every operation and we say, how do we do for the year? Our fiscal year ends March 31, so it's usually held in May, June. And what are the goals coming up? And then answer questions. And we spend a full day at each of these operations. And it takes quite a while to get through them because we have, more than 17 or 18 operations from here to California. I write personal notes, about 30 a month to service awards, people who have 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 years with the company. And I write them. It's not an email. I don't believe in emails for things that are really, really, really important, just to stop and say thank you for what you did. So there's a lot of things I think we try to do here that you try to keep it as close to the culture and the family that we had. We have our vision to be the most trusted name in food and agricultural products, and trust is the number one value of the company. But also quality, integrity, teamwork, and stewardship are the other values in the company. And somebody asked me one time what my job is as CEO when I was CEO, and I said it's really I'm the keeper of the values. We've got to maintain the values of this company so that people know who we are, and that establishes the culture in the company.
So we all grew up, or many of us grew up watching your father, Frank, on TV. What was it like taking over from him? And what did you learn from him, growing up from your father and grandpa?
Yeah, it's probably the word daunting is a good word to use. I had come to work after I graduated from college and got married for 9 months, and then I left the company and I went to pursue another career. And because I was 22 years old or whatever, and I didn't have a lot of confidence, and confidence is not something you're born with; it's something you develop. And so I knew I had to leave the company, and I did. And my dad, I finished, I got a degree in fisheries out in Seattle, Washington, and he came out and he's a very good salesman. And so at that point, I decided to come back into the business. I felt comfortable with myself at that point. And I will say that we have 5 fourth generation in the company, and all of them have worked 5 years at least outside the business before they decided to come to work in the company. And most family businesses, I think, do that as a practice, and it's a very, very important thing to do. So you find out a little bit about yourself, because it's very tough being in a business when your name's on the door. And so, but my dad and I were not that close, interestingly, because he did work 18-hour days. He'd come home for dinner, and then he'd work till 3 in the morning in the office, which, as I said, was 50 yards away. So, I was never really, that we didn't spend a lot of time together. I spent a lot of time with my grandfather was just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And a lot of people say that I'm more like him than I am my father, because I'm not the entrepreneur, risk taker that he was. But the number one thing you learn from Frank Perdue is quality is so important, and you better listen to the consumer. If you don't listen to the consumer, you will be out of business. And that is something that is something we do, just as part of our business. An example is we came up with this product, Chicken Plus, last year, which is chicken and vegetables, because consumers were telling us, they have trouble. They love chicken nuggets, but they can't get vegetables. So we said, well, we'll see if we can figure this out. So a lot of the products, a lot of the things we do are because consumers are telling us, like no antibiotics ever. They told us in 2002 that was an issue. So we started working on that. And by 2012, we had figured out how to raise chickens without any antibiotics. But it took a long time to learn that. So, but we wouldn't have done it if the consumers hadn't been asking us to do it.
So any kind of advice you have for the family businesses that might be on this webinar, some of our awardees, and also people listening, on how you keep going through the good times and obviously the bad times?
Well, there's 2 parts to it. Number one, business in general, you have to change. You cannot stay still. We're so different today than we were even 10 years ago or 20 years ago. like I said, we're doing beef and pork and lamb because we say we want to be the most trusted name in food and agricultural products, and then to be the most trusted name in premium protein. Premium protein doesn't say chicken; it says protein. And so, you know, and so today, you know, we if we're working with a protein, it's going to be on the premium end. It's going to be raised differently. It's going to be raised with animal care. It's going to be raised environmentally differently than the traditional way. And in chicken, we've changed dramatically from where we were. We're the largest organic chicken company now. And so all of our organic chickens have access to the outside. We put windows back in all of our houses because they're basically dark tunnels now. And we said that's not healthy for the chickens or the farmer for also. But so you know, we're doing a lot of things that are different today, but they're all around, you know, providing a quality premium protein. And I think one of the interesting things that we're focused on right now is a better tasting chicken. That's something that's really driving us right now. We found out organic chicken tastes different. We have an innovation center. We do taste panels, and they prefer that. And so we said, well, why? What is it about an organic chicken that makes it different? So now we're working with you know, chickens that are grown in pasture. We're working with heritage breeds, slower growing chickens. We're doing a lot of things, trying to find the best tasting chicken out there. And that's a journey that we'll continue to embark on. And it's something we learned from the Nyman pork people, because they pay their farmers based on the quality of the meat, not on the efficiency of how fast they grew it. And so that's a whole different way of looking at a relationship between yourself and a farmer and the products that you're producing. And so we think it's really exciting. We just scratched the surface. But I really think chicken in general has become so generic. It's lost the original flavor that it had years and years ago. And so we're trying to get back to producing a chicken that people can afford, and yet it has a better flavor and a better taste.
Great. I really want to thank you for joining us today. I've learned a lot about you, about the company, and I look forward to doing this again in person sometime. And thank you very much. And again, happy anniversary, 100 years.
Yeah, well, thank you, and thanks for honoring these companies, these family businesses. I think it's really important to do, you know, and so I appreciate what you all are doing to promote family businesses in the state of Maryland.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Joanne and Jim, for such a wonderful discussion. And congratulations again on Perdue Farms' 100 years in business. The BBJ loves to hear from the business community. So right now, we'd like to hear from you. We have a quick poll question brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Howard Bank, and it will soon pop up on your screen. You should be seeing it now. So just take a few seconds and answer this poll question about succession planning. And even if you're not directly involved, but you understand from your contacts in the business community how they're dealing with it, go ahead and take that poll question, because we want as much participation as possible. So we're going to give you a few seconds. I will say succession planning is such an important tool that every company should be looking at, not just family-owned businesses, for any business as you move forward. So we still want to hear from you. We're going to leave it open, leave it up for a few more seconds. And you don't lose points for your answer, so everybody can participate. All right, so now let's check out the results. Look at that. So it looks like for many companies, it has not affected it at all, but some it has accelerated having those discussions about succession planning. So thank all of you who participated in our poll question. And now we're ready to begin this year's official family-owned business celebration. Back to help me announce these deserving companies is BBJ's editor-in-chief, Joanna Sullivan, as we begin to honor this year's award honorees.
Nestled in the same shopping center off Baltimore Pike since 1963, Wayne Jarrell and son Tyler Jarrell's motto is keep your customers, be friendly, keep them coming back. And with loyal customers, they have been coming back for over 40 years. This family business has proven to be a cut above the rest. Congratulations to 40 West Barbershop. Established in 1964 as a Cockeysville-based company that sold copiers and other office equipment, Advanced Business Systems sells much more than copiers these days. Now offering newer technology services and an expanded territory, Advance has evolved into managed IT services, document management, software, and technology. Congratulations to Advanced Business Systems.
Thank you to the Baltimore Business Journal for this wonderful award. On behalf of all of the Elkin family and the Advance family, we are very grateful for this acknowledgement. We just celebrated our 56th anniversary, and we look forward to serving this wonderful community for at least another 56 from here. Thank you again.
This business spans 6 generations and nearly 128 years. Baltimore's stalwart black newspaper, founded by John Henry Murphy Sr., has been a rite of passage for the Murphy family. With plans in the works to move the headquarters back to the Upton Mansion where it all began in 1892, it continues to be a trusted news source and plays a critical role in the community. Congratulations to the Afro-American Newspapers.
When my great-grandfather, John H. Murphy Sr., purchased the name Afro and a printing press 128 years ago today, he had no idea that his single-sheet newspaper would become the longest-running family-owned African-American newspaper in the nation. Thank you, Baltimore Business Journal, for honoring his legacy, and thanks to the entire Afro family for keeping his dream alive.
Established in 1924, this 4th-generation Towson auction house took a gamble on online auctions, and it paid off, making many of its sales via the internet and giving Baltimore a national and international presence in the fine art and real estate markets. Congratulations to Alex Cooper Auctioneers.
I am Paul Cooper with Alex Cooper Auctioneers, and I want to thank the Baltimore Business Journal for the Family Business Award on behalf of our family. We certainly appreciate it. We are strong supporters of the Baltimore Business Journal.
Founded in 1933 as Arnold's Factory Supplies, Arnold's Packaging has been distributing high-quality packing supplies and serving a range of customers from Sac Fifth Avenue to the U.S. Army for the last 8 decades. Today, with 4th-generation leader Mick Arnold at the helm, Arnold Packaging is utilizing 21st century upgrades like artificial intelligence, advanced software, and robots to increase productivity. Congratulations to Arnold Packaging. Established in 1914 by Italian Luigi de Pasquale, what began as a grocery store in Highlandtown, this 4th-generation marketplace has 3 locations, finding that its deli case and prepared foods are what draws in new customers and keeps the tried and true coming back for more. Congratulations to De Pasquale's Italian Marketplace.
Part of the fabric of Roland Park, this grocery store is now on its 3rd generation of leaders in its 76th year of business and has opened its 2nd store. Customer service has always been at its core. Nancy Cohen remembers a delivery truck in front of her father Victor's store back in the 1970s, and one of their offerings is recreating customers' family recipes. Congratulations to Eddie's of Roland Park.
There aren't many grocery stores where you can find siblings assisting you behind the counter, spouses helping you at checkout, or fathers and sons stocking the aisles. Here at Eddie's of Roland Park, family is at the heart of what we do. So, on behalf of my brother Michael Schaefer, my mother Nancy Cohen, and my late grandfather Victor Cohen, who founded the company more than 75 years ago, We feel so honored to be recognized alongside other independent, family-led local businesses. It is such an honor to serve this community and to call Baltimore our home. Thank you to the Baltimore Business Journal. And thanks to all of you.
Established in 1918 by L.L. Hubble, this luxury real estate company recently formed a partnership with Christie's International Real Estate and Long & Foster Real Estate. Real estate veteran Nancy Hubble and her daughter Karen Hubble Bisbee continue the family's high ethical standards, along with Karen's daughter and fourth generation, Abigail Bisbee. Congratulations to Hubble Bisbee Real Estate.
On behalf of my family and all members and clients of Hubble Bisbee Group, who have worked tirelessly over the last 102 years to both build and support our company, it is a great honor to accept this award as one of Maryland's oldest family-owned businesses from the Baltimore Business Journal. We are truly humbled to be recognized and send our warmest congratulations to other family-owned honorees.
Founded in a small West Virginia mining town in 1939 as a single department store, Klein Enterprises is a family-owned real estate group with an 81-year track record and over 3 million square feet of commercial and residential development space under its belt. Congratulations to Klein Enterprises.
Hello, I'm Daniel Klein, president of Klein Enterprises. On behalf of everybody at Klein Enterprises, we just wanted to thank the Baltimore Business Journal for recognizing us as part of your Family Business Awards. We appreciate you doing a virtual event in lieu of a physical one and look forward to when we can all be together again. Thank you, BBJ.
For the last 63 years, March Funeral Homes has helped grieving families while also serving as a philanthropic leader in Baltimore. Now in its third generation, March Funeral Homes continues to provide an unparalleled level of grief support, funeral and cremation services to Maryland, D.C., and Virginia communities. Congratulations to March Funeral Homes. Originally founded in Munich, Bavaria in 1856, Towson-based Nelson Coleman Jewelers has been in the gemology business for over 100 years. Now in the sixth generation, Nelson Coleman prides themselves on bringing the values of transparency, leading customer service, and custom brands to their clientele. Congratulations to Nelson Coleman Jewelers.
Hi, I'm Amanda Coleman Phelps of Nelson Coleman Jewelers, 6th generation.
I'm Peggy Coleman, 5th generation.
And we just want to say thank you so much for the honor of winning Baltimore's Family-Owned Business Award.
Nearly 140 years ago, Adam Otterbein moved from Germany to Baltimore and opened a small bakery near Fort McHenry. Today, 12,600 square foot Windsor Mill Bakery produces about 2,000 pounds of cookies each day in 6 different flavors. The 5-generation company has become a Baltimore tradition. Congratulations to Otterbeins Bakery.
One of our younger family business honorees, this company, founded in 1996, has quickly become one of the region's best-known beef brands. This multifaceted business grows the animals that ultimately give it its beef product. They hope to grow in a measured way. Congratulations to Roseda Black Angus Farm.
Hi, it's Eddie Burchell of Roseda Farm, and we wanted to congratulate all the nominees and winners and thank the Baltimore Business Journal for selecting us as one of the best family-run businesses in the area. We're especially proud of our associates and a few generations of 2 families that have helped us build our company since 1996. Of course, we couldn't have done it without our loyal and growing customer base, who's helped make us the best local, all-natural, dry-aged beef product in the area. To stay connected, follow us on our Instagram at Roseda Beef and learn all about our new website launch in the fall. Have a great night.
Established in 1956, Tochterman's Fishing and Tackle has been serving clientele from all over the world for the last 104 years. The oldest family-owned tackle shop in the country, still operating from its original location, Tochterman's carries over 750 different fishing reels and has plans for a fishing museum in Fells Point. Congratulations to Tochterman's Fishing and Tackle. Starting in 1892 with a horse and buggy, now 5 generations in, this company has moved 3 American presidents and has done work at the Vatican. They are always seeking out the best clean methods, the newest technology to become paperless, and finding creative ways to help their clients with their relocation. Help me congratulate Von Paris Moving and Storage.
Hi, I'm John Von Paris, president of Von Paris Moving and Storage. And we are honored to be here this afternoon to be recognized as one of Maryland's family businesses. So we also congratulate all the recipients here today with the BBJ. And if you ever need a mover, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of this year's Family-Owned Business Honorees. You continue to inspire us. You have so much to be proud of. And you're also just a reminder that we need to continue to support our family-owned businesses and our small businesses. Though the original publication ran on March 27, please be sure to look for a recap of today's program to appear in next week's August 21st issue of the BBJ. Thank you to our video partner, Media Star Productions, and our awards partner, Alaram. And a very special thank you to presenting sponsor, Howard Bank, for their continued support of local businesses. And finally, thank you all for attending. Have a wonderful day and stay healthy.